Alright, so today's tutorial is going to be on the STX Stallion 700. As you can see, like I have here, has a really nice mid pocket, nice and defined. It's going to have a pretty nice channel, as you can see. It's going to get some good accuracy. Now this tutorial is done with Rocket Mesh semi-hard. So yeah, let's get into it. Okay, so in order to get Rocket Mesh to work correctly with the Stallion 700, because the mesh doesn't like to stretch that much, you're going to need to do a 10 diamond top string. As you can see, I have here, you're going to do that 10 diamond top string on the first hole of the head. So once again, 10 diamond top string on the first hole of the head. All right, so now to start the actual pattern on the Stallion 700, we're going to start on the second hole of the head. So I'm going to put my string through that second hole, up and through that first available mesh loop, back and through that same saddle hole, and up through that same mesh loop once again. Just going to be a tie and loop. And then pull that tight. There we go. Next up, we're going to skip and then do a KSI. So down to the top of the next mesh loop, into the plastic going from the outside. We're going to leave a small loop there. You're going to take your leading in string, go from the back and through of that loop. Then from here, we're going to pull our slack from the inside. All the way through. You're going to take your fingertips and pinch the saddle string to the plastic, take your leading in string, and then just pull it straight down. And then take your leading in once again, go from the bottom up, that same mesh loop, and there we have a KSI. Okay, now we're going to skip another saddle hole and then do a KSI once again, so down to the top of the next mesh loop. Same thing as before, into the plastic. From the outside, leaving a small loop. Take your leading in string, going from the back and through of that loop. Pulling the slack from the inside. Pinch it, and then pull straight down. And then take your leading in string once again, and then from the bottom up. And then there we go, we have two KSIs. We're going to do that one more time without skipping any saddle holes. Down to the top of the next mesh loop. Into the plastic from the outside. Leaving a small loop, going through that loop that you left. Pulling your slack from the inside. Pinching it. Pull straight down with your leading in. And then once again, going from the bottom up. With that leading in string, and then pulling all that slack out, so up and down, so that way it's nice and tight. So there we started to create the channel. As you can see, it's starting to create some definition in that portion. All right, so after we did those KSIs to start to lock down the channel, we're going to start to create the pocket. So we're going to do 2 1s, and these are going to be locked as well, or knotted I should say. So going from the bottom and up of the next mesh loop, you're going to take the middle of the mesh, pinch it, pull it up towards the top of the scoop, take your leading in string, and then pull it straight down so that this mesh loop anchors to the plastic. You're going to from the outside of the saddle hole, because we're going to lock this down so that it's a knot as well. Leave a small loop, how we did like up here, going from the bottom and up, or bottom and through that loop that you left, pulling that slack from the inside. You're going to do that one more time. From the bottom up to the next mesh loop. There we go. So we have this mesh loop anchoring to the plastic, so that way it sits there. Going into the saddle hole, or the next one. Leaving a small loop there. Going through that loop that you left. Pulling the slack from the inside here. And make sure this knot rests on the top of the bottom rail, so that way it's not pushing out to the outside or kicking to the inside. We want that resting right in the center on the bottom rail. So pulling all that slack through. There we go, we have 2 knotted 1s. Next up, we're going to do a 1 KSI, so go from the bottom and up of the next mesh loop. And then from the top and down of the next one. We're going to pinch the middle of the mesh, pull it up towards the scoop once again, and then pull the leading edge string straight down so that once again these loop to the plastic. We're going to go into the plastic from the outside, doing a small loop, going from the back and through that loop you left, pulling your slack from the inside once again, pinch the sidewall string to the plastic and then pull straight down. And then from the bottom up of the last mesh loop, so that way we can finish out that KSI. There we go. Now we're going to do a SI, so down to the top of the next mesh loop, into the plastic from the outside. We're going to come up and through that this small loop that we have here. There we go. We're going to take the middle of the mesh, pinch it, pull it up towards the top of the scoop once again, pull the string outwards, up and then down, and then take your leading in and go from the bottom and up of that same mesh loop. There we go. Okay, now we're going to finish up the pocket here. So we're going to go into the plastic first because we're doing interlock. We're going to leave a small little bit of slack there. And then this mesh, available mesh loop here, we're going to take our string from the inside of the head and then come up and through this loop. So straight to the plastic, down and through. And then, like I said, we're leaving a small loop there. You're going to take your leading in string, go up and through that loop. And then from this side, once again, we're pinching the middle of the mesh, pulling up towards the top of the scoop. And then this is really important. So we're going to pull outwards, up, and then down. And to completely finish out, take leading in string, go from the top and down of that same mesh loop. And then from the inside of the head, we're going to go out and through that next available sidewall hole. And then from here, we're going to simply tie a knot. And then this is what it should look like from the inside. So as you can see, it just went back and over through itself, and you should have one sidewall hole left over there. All right, so there we should have our STX Stallion 700 strung up with that piece of rocket mesh semi-hard. This pattern's also going to work for semi-soft as well. Now, regarding the bottom string, I did mine with a shooting string, and I did it one row above the little tag piece here for the rocket mesh tag. And I just have it as a double connection there, so 2 anchoring points, and I have it pulled relatively tight, so that way you can see you can kind of adjust the depth a little bit as well as the definition. So here we should have a really nice looking mid pocket. It's going to be great for this head. Attacking midfielders are going to love this one, even in LSM possibly. The mesh is pretty stiff, so you're going to need to break it a little bit, but as you can see, a really nice, clean, defined channel. So that's going to be it for this tutorial. Now, if you guys enjoyed the video or found it helpful, be sure to like the video, subscribe to our channel, and thanks for watching.